Hello, this is Connor Stoops, and I am aware I am legit 3 weeks late, but this is going to be a match summary between the Knockouts and the Pummelers. So, right now the Knockouts, which Zith was I think recently banned, but that's besides the point, is representing the Knockouts on the left side, while Bookworm of the Pummelers is representing the right side. So, just right off the bat, Bookworm got a pretty good lead against this Halvantic. I'm not sure why Halvantic chose to stay in. Well, to be fair, that Gargolem base might have been a glitched Gargolem speed, but removing the gloves from Halvantic is always very good. And as you can see, Bookworm will take advantage of this by introducing Jalusa to the battlefield. While Jalusa already threatens out a Halvantic that doesn't have gloves, Jalusa can threaten with setup potentially. It's just a pretty good revenge killing come on here, but for some reason he's not the personality to kill, and then Halvantic claims 2 kills, which is something at least. I'm not sure as to why Bookworm would go Thaumin after Jalusa dies. You could just go Thaumin first instead of Jalusa because it's most likely a spec set, but that's besides the point. While Halvantic is already it's already down, the Pumers are winning by at least 1 score of Illumian, and they do get momentum here. Stratosaur is going to be Bookworm's 4th revealed Illumian after the first 2 died, and we are going to see Arceros here. I'm guessing this is why Thaumin didn't come out immediately, but I'm not sure as to why. I can't really justify that option here, but that's besides the point, because Arceros procs their frail armor, which I guess this is where Bookworm takes this battle from a very clean 5-3 to a potential Colossochops sweep, or at the very least Colossochops breaking a few holes into the team. Of course, Colossochops doesn't do any or much of turn 1 damage, which looks like he'll get the opportunity here. Okay, it's burnt. Okay. Yeah. No, turns out I'm just a liar. And then Bookworm just... I don't even know, bro. I like, at the same time, like, the plays aren't that great, but at the same time, Bookworm just isn't doing... or Bookworm's luck is just not on his side right now. And then it's going to be a 2 to 4 climb here for Bookworm with Stratosaur and Thaumin as the last 2 Lumians. Although it is somewhat possible because we have Lashent here, we have Arceros. On paper, this should be, or well, I don't even know, and it's probably a decent Thaumin clean if you can get the Arceros chipped, which is gonna be something. But so far, Sith is in the way to win this first match of week 1. I of course know how this match goes. I am just going to be commentating it. And then of course we're going to see Stratosaur here. This is probably the best option for Bookworm. You don't exactly want to risk a very dangerous prediction with a Spec Thaumin against this Lashent, because Zith can do many things. He can swap, he can stay in, all of that things. And just want to say this, shoutouts to Hyber for recording this one. I wasn't here to do that. I actually won't be here for any of these recordings, at least live, but I'll be doing the post commentary in terms of this video. So, not much is happening during this battle, or during this specific part of the battle. Stratosaur will really only have a few options to click. Of course, we've only seen 3 Lumians from Sith's side, which means Stratosaur could probably mag, or chooses to Jetstream. Jetstream? Okay, this is probably... It's probably a base Stratosaur. I doubt Bookworm would run Jetstream on a sober Stratosaur. And then of course this Lashent is in range of another Jetstream. So let's see if Bookworm tries to do anything here that could probably, possibly, maybe put him in the lead of the battle here. I'm not sure if Thaumin can Oko a Boots Arceros. It might not be able to, which maybe that's something. Or, okay, what is the play? I know I'm doing this post-commentary, but what is this play here? This play by Stratosaur was a very confusing one, but you know, maybe getting the +2 was needed here, because if you were... Okay, that's a bug, Stratosaur. The +2 is understandable though, because now this Arceus can't revenge kill, and you can possibly get this Jet Stream on that Arceus, and then that Arceus dies and is in range of the Thaumin, which will probably be what ends Zith's battle here. But you guys want to know that because Iliguana is here, and then Iliguana is great against Bookworm's team, at least, or the remaining of Bookworm's team. Kind of sucks for Bookworm because honestly, Bookworm had a few things for Iliguana, but now that those died, it's kind of just wraps for Bookworm unless he can get a few lucky crits off. We'll say though, the Stratosaur is at +2, both in speed and in melee defense. Oh no, not speed. He's +2 in range attack, I should say, which means this Iliguana should be taking a reasonable amount of chip, which could bring it in range of our Thaumin. Alright, so this base Stratosaur bugged will be able to get a critical hit. We'll be able to get a critical hit, and that's gonna be possibly wraps for Sith. Arceus can't outspeed even if it's boots, and yeah, that's something. Bookworm got away with that RNG. Wow. Yep. So I'll keep commentating until this battle ends, which is probably right now, and I'm gonna be moving on to the next battle. So the second battle of the Knockouts versus the Pummelers will be Lunar Boy versus Mechanical Breaker. So Lunar Boy is on the left side and Goober is on the right side as per the last match. And Harvesect will be swapping in on this Dokomori, possibly to Ice Cold Tremor, but no, he read the swap to Bulk Up, which is interesting because Borealis could just... I was gonna say Deep Freeze if it was a mix set, but he ups to Ice Cold Tremor. And then Goober is forced in a hard position here. While this Harvesect isn't threatening to most teams, as of right now to Goober's specific team, +1 Parasitize will be decently threatening. And it looks like that the Dokomori will probably be the swap in for Goober here. Its Baneful Bash won't be doing much, but Harvesect will be able to take advantage of this with the Bulk Up. And you never see this every day. He's trying to just fish for poison. I'm wondering when Lunar Boy would click the Parasitize or the Earthquake, because I don't want to risk the poison. But turns out he doesn't Parasitize for the HP, not anticipating the poison, which is at least something. Okay, do you Parasitize now? You have to Parasitize now if you're Lunar Boy here. And then, yeah, I'm actually not sure why he didn't go Stratosaur the first time, but hey, it's working out for Goober. Goober got this Harvesect low, which was threatening a wall break on that Dokomori. But Stratosaur does come in on the field. The Icicle Traps from that Dokomori is putting in on a lot of work for the Goober, and looks like Goober swaps to Dokomori and the Plasmoth is energized, claiming the kill on Dokomori. I'm sorry, this is just too funny even if I'm doing this post. But anyways, that is peak right there. Although you would have to sack the Harvesect, maybe we can see Lunar Boy come in with at least like a Tyrex or something, right? To abuse the Thunderstorm with? No. He's just gonna go Sumabito to threaten the Quick Punch. Let's see if he reads it. Yes, he does, but he clicks Bulk Up and not like a double or something, which understandable at least. Tsukame can't immediately do a lot of damage. It'll just have to Seasong and hope that it does a little bit. Tsukame can also Body Crash, but it won't do too much to a +1 Sumabito. It looks like Lunar Boy will be committing to this. Let's see if Lunar Boy reads the Rejuvenate. No, he doesn't. Tsukame just gets a free Rejuvenate off. And Goober, Mechanical Breaker, whatever, is doing a pretty good job at keeping this battle a lot in his favor at least. Getting to preserve that Tsukame is always good, especially when your team is, at least I think for Goober, is a little bit offensive on that side of things. But Goober gets his Ikizune clutch plushie broken, however I don't think this would matter too much because Terra Claw was always coming in for Lunar Boy. You just needed something to revenge kill that C.B.O. So, instead of killing the Ikizune, Terra Claw opts to not. It just, okay, that's something. But Stratosaur is always coming in, I think for Lunar Boy at least. This bug type Thunderstorm team was fun, but it ultimately won't be enough for the Pummelers to be knocked out. And then here you go, you see Plasmoth. I think this is Lunar Boy's last along, yes, pretty much. Borealis kind of just cleans here, and then good job to Goober for winning this one. Yeah, it's pretty much wraps here. Maybe we can get a cool Soul Burst flex before the battle ends. But yeah, Pummelers are off to a great start, getting a 2-0 lead against the Naukouts. This is LEP week, by the way, which means none of the more experienced players will be battling, but do not count the Knockouts out. Alright, so the next battle here is going to be JoRed versus CoolBossyDude. JoRed, of course, representing the Pummelers here, while the CoolBossyDude does represent the Knockouts. And then we're going to see Namari getting decent chip on this Dokomori, clicking a Jetstream, and then you go to see a Zulong coming out. Very safe response. Even if Namari would be boot something like that, Namari wouldn't want to stay in. And it looks like the Zulong does outspeed, and then we're going to see Flash and Flee, which is interesting because getting chip on something like Zulong is very valuable, and it looks like that Namari is probably a defensive set or might be an offensive set with Flash and Flee. You never know. But that doesn't tell us enough of what Namari said it actually is. CoolBossyDude taking advantage of that to go into his boots Arceros here. Not sure why JoRed didn't instantly go to a swap in. Possibly because Arceros goes really well into JoRed's team and JoRed doesn't have a swap in. And that's why we're going to see Namari coming in on that Dokomori. Just taking advantage of the matchups that Arceros has. Very good stuff from the Knockouts here. And of course, we're going to see what Namari can really do against this Dokomori. It just forces it out because, well, yeah, Dokomori doesn't do much to it but baffle. Surprised he didn't baffle into Stratosaur, but that's besides the point. It worked out well for him because the Namari ended up just flash and fleeing. Although if he did baffle, it wouldn't have mattered as Namari did get a crit on the Stratosaur here. Stratosaur opts to stay in base form, and it looks like we're going to see a Stratosaur that could be a Soul Burst form, which is why we see a Gust to outspeed the Boots Arceros, which was established against that Zulong. That Zulong couldn't have been Boots because the Arceros outsped it, and Arceros can only do that if it's a Boots user. And then of course we see Stratosaur one-hit KOing that Arceros. That's a very great play from JoRed. I'm not sure as to why CoolBossyDude just didn't go Halvantic when he had the option to. Halvantic is very safe against Stratosaur, especially if it's on boosted. And while it will do a lot to Halvantic, like a 3 KO range, if it is boosted, you still would rather want to take the hit. You don't want your Arceros to die. Because now, even though this Dokomori is gonna kill the Halvantic, this is why. You wanted to go Halvantic instantly, so you could get chip on Dokomori even more. But that's gonna be costing CoolBossyDude quite a bit. You see that Arceros and Halvantic going down, very, very important bonds for CoolBossy to really use here. Because now Stratosaur for JoRed does win him the game based off what we've seen from CoolBossy. We've only seen Namari and the other two Lumias which just died, which means Stratosaur kind of just wins no matter the set for Namari here. It just wants to spam a Magnify here from Stratosaur. Just needs one Magnify and it can probably clean up here, which is probably why the recording is so small, and then we are going to see the Lashent, and we're going to see the Magnify from Strat. Strat just wins every interaction against Lashent. Maybe Timber Thrash might have done something, but definitely not anymore due to this Magnify. Petrifying is not helping Lashent at all. And it's, yeah, we are going to see a Magnify coming up. Lashent can't do much. I personally would have hit because Lashent might have been Timber Thrash, and that could have put Stratosaur into the ground, or at least in range of another move, which is why we're going to see the Jalusa come in. Another option that CoolBossy has, but can't really sustain this because Stratosaur has gotten a couple of boosts. And yeah, this is a very clean pickup from JoRed, putting another point down in the Pummelers versus Knockouts match. Of course, didn't need to do anything. Yeah, he just waited there. Which is probably assuming this Stratosaur is 1 move, 3 support, and yeah, good stuff from the Pummelers. Alright, so this is going to be the last match for the Knockouts versus the Pummelers. Pummelers putting up a masterclass in terms of doing pretty well against the opponent's LEPs. And we are going to be seeing the Knockouts this time, actually getting a pretty good lead. Knockouts on the left, Pummelers on the right this time. 14 representing the Knockouts here with a great Protagon lead against that Holly Bunch. Just threatening out any way that Red Ray can really try and do against his Protagon. You wouldn't even really account for something like Metallic Shell, you'd rather just swap. And it looks like this is what he does. Now, if that Dart Burst hit like 10 times, it probably would have been a dead Arceros. But hey, that's neither here or there. That Arceros is threatening with the boots, because most Paragons, they run Specialty Goggles and Dart Burst along with the Analyze. So you obviously don't want to really risk the matchup against Arceros. And interesting prediction by Red Ray. I'm not sure why you go Stratosaur here. You'd rather just get offensive pressure. And even if you did try and catch the Eliguana, which it looks like Red Ray attempted to, you'd rather go something like Domin, not Domin. You'd rather go something else. But based off of that, I assume, and probably the people watching this as well, 14 has Arceros, and Arceros doesn't look great against Red Ray's team. Also, I do want to note that although a lot of people will be watching this after week 2, Arceros was banned. So this will be probably one of the last recordings of Arceros here. Okay, questionable screenshot by Lumin or Lila here. But this Protagon does pretty well against this Domin. Even if this Domin is Spec Goggles, you do not want to risk anything here. And then yeah, we're gonna see the Tsukame. Very standard stuff so far from Red Ray. Playing this pretty well, I'd say, even though getting the slow start here. But yeah, we're gonna see Tsukame be Tsukame. I think this was one of the first Tsukames I've seen in this specific week 1 interaction, which to be fair, it does make sense. Most of these Tsukames haven't been picked up at this time. It was only until week 2 and some other tournaments starting to see that, oh shoot, Tsukame. That's probably the best Luminami right now, or a better Luminami. And then yeah, we're gonna see the Holly Bunch. Sorry for the side note, where Holly Bunch clicks Flash and Flee. Specs Flash and Flee is honestly kind of broken during this time, and I'd even say even more so before because of passive energy. But Festive Spirit does not work for Holly Bunch, or it will not work for the passive energy system, I should say. Which means, yeah, I mean, you don't really have the perks of that, although Holly Bunch was already getting some concerned notices before the energy system. So we are going to see a double here from 14 going into Tsukame. Again, we're gonna have to see the speed tie, who underspeeds who, and that's look like Red Ray will be able to win this speed tie. Red Ray pretty much needs to get some momentum here. I'm surprised you go Arceros. Okay, I'm surprised you go Arceros, but it's fair, I guess. Tsukame trying to get a body crash up. Maybe you're trying to catch like a Proto something. Maybe you're trying to catch something else. But overall, Red Ray has to really play around this Arceros. And wow, I'm just surprised you just didn't I'm just surprised you didn't try and Seasong out, but I'm more surprised that 14 didn't Boiling Press. You would rather just take the damage, get Tsukame chipped, and whatever comes in will be taking decent chip anyway, so that's a very questionable play by 14. This will probably cost him the match because Tsukame does look pretty well against 14's team, but maybe we can see 14 come back from this, although I do know what's gonna happen, but yes. And yeah, we're gonna see the Seasong coming out. Tsukame has no energy. I personally would have taken advantage of the outburst lock-in to get some more HP or even energy at that point. But yeah, swapping to Holly is very fair. Getting chip on Eleguana is very nice, getting that in range for like a Ferroblast or something like that. And okay. Flash and Flee was also a good option there. I'm not sure as to why Red Ray would Nova Blast, especially when you have Flash and Flee and already established Eleguana as a swap-in. But possibly we can see something here, and it looks like this is why he did that. Trying to get some pressure against Eleguana, because Eleguana cannot do anything against Holly Bunch. It can only just swap in a few times, and it looks like this Holly Bunch will take advantage of that by chipping Protagon very hard as a swap-in. Seemingly a pretty weird play from Red Ray, turns out to be working out pretty well for him. So, Protagon does have Zip Zap or Thorn Strike, depending on what Protagon wants for the Tsukame, but he does... Okay, that killed Tsukame, but I was about to say Red Ray was going to put Protagon into a very dangerous 50-50, basically, of what move to click, Metal Blast for Holly, or maybe the electric coverage. Red Ray ultimately loses that interaction even though he had the Bolt Pearl, but we're gonna see Stratosaur coming in. Stratosaur, I don't know if it lives this Boiling Press, but maybe 14, even if it's Boots, I won't think or Stratosaur will live one. I could go Calibrate now, but it looks like we're gonna see 14 playing it very safe and going into a Holly Bunch once again. This is very rough for 14 because Eleguana just does not do anything against Holly Bunch. Holly Bunch is always going to be able to really threaten what 14 has. And I suspect this is going to be the turning point for this match. Holly Bunch versus Eleguana. Eleguana just pivoting out or attempting to find some form of resemblance into stopping this thing. But looks like Holly Bunch will be able to maybe potentially put Pummelers into the driver's seat here. They're already in the driver's seat, but for the position to win the week here. It all comes down to this match, and yeah, looks like 14 saw what was coming, and a masterclass put up by the Pummelers for week 1 of Meta Analysis League. Stay tuned for more match recaps in the future, and yeah. Alright, this is Cotton Stoops. Make sure you go join the Meta-Analysis League down in the description if you are interested in seeing these battles happen. And if you are interested in joining this league in the future, stay tuned for a potential other season.